the Sports Betting Network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV. However you take it as in, we appreciate it. It's Gill Alexander. It is Kelly Bidlin. This is what we do on Mondays, the interactive game that, I hope you participate in. Try to extract some value from the upcoming week's NFL lines. And in the process, we look back at the week gone by. Do we have to do that part?
Yeah, we have to, Gil. We have to. You're pretty good at it, so we have to.
Okay. Well, we'll get to all the games. This is how we do this. First, though, we survive. First of all, hello, Kelly Bidlin. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. Not great, but, getting through it. Here's the thing. Survivor. We always start with Survivor on a Monday. We are down to 54 entries. 54 remaining entries. 33 knocked out. We came into this week with 99. 3 got knocked out by the Steelers on Thursday. That brought it down to 96. Then somebody, and I hope this person's okay.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Failed to submit what at the time was about a $150,000 intrinsic value entry. Then yesterday, 33 go down with the Commies, 8 with the Texans. We are down to 54. 54 remain out of 14,266. That's 99.62% gone, Kelly, if you're scoring at home. Intrinsic value of the remaining 54 entries, each of the remaining 54, $264,185.19. Over $250,000 per entry of the remaining Circa Survivor entries, the remaining 54. And our buddy Jake from Profit X is one of them. He'll be on the show later this week.
Nice.
He texted me yesterday. He goes, and then there were 54. I was like, yes, there are.
I like it because Jake was, he was confident but not cocky. I thought when he was on with us at all.
Perfect tone.
Yes, yeah, and you need a mix of that. You need a mix of humility because we talk about it all the time. Where this is, come on, you need a little bit of luck to get through a season like this.
You do,
but you need some skill to plan it out as well.
The thing that I appreciate about his pitch perfectness on this too is this was a weird year, obviously, because the carnage of the first 5 weeks was unprecedented. By the way, we've never gone into Thanksgiving where the value of each entry is over $250,000 into Thanksgiving. That's never happened before. But the thing that I appreciate about his entry the most is he started with 1. It's the only one. By the way, only 4 people have 2 entries left. Nobody has more than 2. So 46 of the remaining 54 have 1. 4 people have 2 left. That's how you get to 54. And this was a year that beyond the carnage of the first 5 weeks, people played it differently. It wasn't as fun in many cases because a lot of people from the beginning just did the monetization thing from like really early on. So they're buying percentages, they're selling percentages. So the joy of this is that one person that goes coast to coast with 1, and he's one of those guys.
So I love it too. I think it takes away, now that we're down to nobody has more than 2, takes away some of the gamesmanship possibilities that guys can play. Now it's kind of just go out there and win it, right? It's kind of more just basic like that. And you're right, we get all these marketplaces now to buy and sell stuff. Like you keep reading the implied value every week, and I'm like, I'd have half of that. I would have sold 54% or whatever already.
Well, we will have him on before Thanksgiving. Hopefully he gets through if he's our guy. But good luck to all who are still left of the 54. By the way, there was one person who had 6 entries heading into this past weekend, 4 of which were on the Commies.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, thanks to Tony Farmer, courtesy of Survivor Atlas, for giving us those stats. All right, it's time for Guessing Lines Week 13 in the National Football League. Oh, yeah. Yo. That might be the first time in the history of Guessing Lines where I've ever, remembered the intro and it hit perfectly.
Dude, don't bring it up. You did a great job, man.
Thank you very much. Just want to point out when I do things right on the show.
What do they say when you score a touchdown? Act like you've been there before, man.
Hey, see what I just did? I'm going to do that every time. See what I just did?
No, we'll see on Wednesday. We'll check for the big one on Wednesday. All right, Thursday morning, you wake up, you get some numbers game going,
man.
and then 30 minutes after we're done.
We should point this out. Oh, I'm sorry. Finish your sentence.
I was just going to go to the game. You want to point it out?
Oh, no. I was going to say we will be here on Thursday.
We will be here. We will be here Thursday. We will be here Friday.
Yeah,
and 30 minutes after a numbers game, you get Bears at Lions.
You get 3 games, and you get a Friday game. Bears at Lions starts it. The 4-7 Bears, the 10-1 Lions. The Bears. What a game this was. On a different weekend, this would have been the game of the week. The Bears starts out Minnesota first drive, second and goal at the 1. Aaron Jones stripped by Jonathan Owens. Mr. Simone Biles recovered by Owens, and you figure, okay, maybe this is the Bears' day. Not so much. Chicago, a couple drives later, Caleb to Allen for 40 to start the drive, to Swift for 32 plays later, Rashawn Johnson in for 1. It's 7-0 Bears late first quarter. Minnesota comes right back, though. Addison, 2-yard touchdown catch after Darnold hit Addison for 45, 7-7, first play of the second quarter. Then Santos, remember he had that field goal blocked against the Green Bay Packers? Well, he tries a 48-yarder. This one is blocked after Allen appeared to have made a great catch at the 6, but was ruled out of bounds on review. So Cairo Santos now with another field goal blocked. He took responsibility after the game. He says, I have low trajectory kicks. Low trajectory kicks. Remains 7-7. Also the line getting shoved. Minnesota comes back. 53-yard drive. Darnold to Jalen Naylor from 5 out. 14-7 Minnesota will be 14-10 at the half after Santos kicked a 49-yarder. Okay. We get to the first bit of shenanigans, or I don't know if it's shenanigans, but the first bits of eyebrow raise of the day. So it's 14-10 Minnesota. The third quarter begins. Minnesota first play, Darnold to Addison for 69, even though, Kelly, he had stepped out well before that, like 33 yards earlier.
Yeah.
And it was detected by a boundary camera. Boundary camera comes into our life as football fans. Now, again, we've watched a bajillion, you and me, you listening to me and me, we have watched a bajillion football games between us in our lives. You ever heard about this before? So Mike Pereira breaks the story that just in case you you didn't think that the NFL couldn't be more Byzantine, as they say, about their rules, he lets us know that apparently and I'm going to get this right, that you cannot according to Pereira, the NFL officiating crew working the game could not overturn the play on a coach's challenge, even with the boundary camera angle showing that Addison clearly stepped out of bounds because, get this, Kelly, not every stadium in the NFL has that camera angle. And it wouldn't be fair to others. It would have apparently only been valid on a scoring play, which goes to official review. But on a coach's challenge, because there's not uniform boundary cameras across the league, a $20 billion league, they weren't able to use that. They were not permitted to because of equity. And so Addison gets his 69-yard catch.
Is this the one where he said if it was a primetime game of any kind, right, it would have been called because of that same thing, because the cameras would have been in place correctly?
I missed that part, but yeah, that makes sense to the whole thing.
At least,
but it's unbelievable. Anyway, it leads to a Parker Romo field goal, 17-10 at that point for the Vikings. A little later on, the Vikings were stopped. They had to punt, but it hits to Andre Carter of the Bears, recovered by Bo Richter, sets up Minnesota at the Chicago 15. 5 plays later, Jones in from 2, 24-10. Minnesota late third quarter. You figure this one's over. But Chicago comes back, 64 yards, including 4th and 4 conversion at the Minnesota 20. Caleb for 7. 2 plays later, Caleb to DJ Moore from 7 out. 2-point try fails, 24-16. Halfway through the through the fourth quarter, 27-16 now. Bears looking like they're done with 1:56 left in the game. Under the 2-minute warning, they're down 2 scores. After DeAndre Carter returns a kickoff 55 yards, though, sets up at the Minnesota 40, 4th and 3 conversion. Caleb to Odunze for 14. 4 plays later, Caleb to Keenan from 1 out. 2-point try, good. Caleb to DJ Moore, 27-24. 22 seconds left, though. You know how this goes. They had to declare an onside kick, and it worked. Set up at their own 43 to DJ Moore for 27. Spike. Santos for 48. Good. We're going overtime. Oh, my God, what a game. Chicago 3 and out, Minnesota matriculates. That's all it was. From their own 19, they actually were in a 2nd and 17 hole. They got out of it to Addison for 13 on 3rd and 9. At their own 22, they matriculate Jefferson for 20, later to Hawkins for 29. John Parker Romo, 29-yard field goal, good, 30-27. Minnesota wins it. They take on Detroit in this, or I should say Chicago does, in this division game. Detroit, there's not much to say about this game other than after it was 3-0 Indianapolis. You know how these Detroit games go, Kelly. 60-yard drive, Gibson from 1, 7-3. 7-6 game. 9 plays, 70 yards. Montgomery in from 6, 14-6, halftime. Third quarter, 4th and 1 at the Indianapolis 14. Montgomery 2-yard loss. Maybe Indianapolis can get back in this. Nope. Next time Detroit gets the ball, 10 plays, 79-yard touchdown drive. Gibson from 5, 21-6. Indianapolis couldn't do anything offensively. It ends up being 24-6. Here's Indianapolis' second half possessions. 3 and out. Turnover on, they wanted to go for it on 4th, but they had a holding penalty, so they had to punt. 3 and out, turnover on downs, ball game. Held to 268 total yards were the Colts, only 11 first downs. Chicago at Detroit, your Thanksgiving morning. I'm going to say Detroit by 10.
Yeah, you're right. They're about 10.5 right now.
Got the hook too, huh?
Yep, got the hook too.
Are the Detroit Lions? The Detroit Lions feel like one of these 80s NFC juggernauts. Pick your year, whether it was the Bears in 85 or the Giants all those years, the Niners all those years, or the Skins all those years. They just take care of every opponent. However, after watching last night's game, which we'll get to, do you believe the Eagles are on par with this team? In other words, the Eagles script, which we'll get to, seems to be the same whether it's against the Bengals, whether it's against Washington, whether it's against the Rams last night. Oh, you can play with them for a while, but then they will wear you out every one of these games. And the final score ends up being a blowout.
I think the Lions are the best team right now in the NFL. I think they will be the best team in the regular season. Talk to me the playoffs, Gill. I think I'd like the Eagles a little bit more there.
Yeah, that's the proper waiver is what you just did right there. way to not step out on a limb on that one. I agree with it, everything you're saying. Come down to 60 minutes in January, and perhaps specifically the NFC Championship game. We'll come back. More Guessing Lines, Week 13, numbers game, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Coming up Monday on Follow the Money, Mike Palm in for a vacationing Mitch Moss. We recap a wild weekend, NFL and college. You can't be serious with Mike Palm and the Harbaugh. Great Monday night matchup. Follow the Money weekdays, 4 to 7 Eastern, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to see who at VSiN is on a hot streak? Go to VSiN.com/picks to see all the selections and weekly leaderboard of VSiN hosts, writers, and guests. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber and get every pick sent to your inbox daily. Just head to VSiN.com/pro.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
If you haven't become a VSiN Pro subscriber yet, now's your chance to start being smarter and save big. Sign up on our Black Friday special today. Get VSiN Pro access to everything we do from now through May 1st for only $60. Sign up now. Get access to daily best bets, our exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa with trends and analysis to make you sharper, better. 24/7 video access plus all our betting guides and best bets for the upcoming college football playoffs, Super Bowl, and March Madness. Don't miss our best new subscriber offer of the year. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up on our Black Friday special now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. How about, again, that Bears-Vikings game on a different day? That finish is unbelievable. You're down 2 scores with less than 2 minutes left. You get that great kickoff return. You matriculate it. You get the 2-point conversion. You recover an onside kick, for God's sakes, which never happens. You get it in field goal range. You sink that, and you just 3 and out overtime, and that's that.
That was the first of all, what are the onside kicks when you see it where I'm always like, why can't you do that more often? You know, where it's like they just skip it across the ground, right? Hits off the leg. Man, that witching hour portion yesterday, though, it was something overall. Oh, boy.
Scott Hansen, loving it.
Like you said, on any other day. But I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, what's going on with like 3 of these games?
If we don't keep up with the tweets, we'll never get through them. So let's just do them every segment here. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Chris Hauser to Kelly Bidlin. You hit a 5-0 when you try to go 0-5?
I didn't try to go 0-5. It was just when I texted you this morning. 5-0 Circa Millions week. I only bet one of the sides pure. I had another one. I had the Lions in a teaser. And then went out of the season running already and out of the quarter running already. I went 3-2 and 2-3 the first 2 weeks.
Ryan Hyatt, we need A&G deep dive from Gilly Kelly regarding the Kingsbury effect. At this point, it's real for whatever reason. The midseason swoons we saw at Texas Tech and Arizona continue now as offensive coordinator at Washington. The only common denominator is Kingsbury. Well, Ryan, ask and you shall receive. Do we have that, guys? Do we have the Kingsbury update on the screen? This is an unbelievable thing. And it's the first 7 games, all those Texas Tech and Cardinals years was he as head coach. Then USC's senior offensive assistant last year before becoming the Commodores' offensive coordinator this year. Look at those first 7 games and then everything that has happened after those first 7 games. 56, 27-1 first 7, 22-60 after. Good God.
Just wild.
Ask and you shall receive. Johnny Millionaire, listen to you on your show, Gill, and the Megapod, and I'm glad I didn't go with your guy that something was amiss with the Detroit. The Lions keep rolling while Commies and Texans were the big favorites most likely to stumble. I think he's talking about Drew, I'm guessing, who's not as high on the Lions as others. But the Lions keep rolling. For sure they do. And Washington and Houston, again, the record better than the teams actually are. These days. Jesse Welch, no offense, Gilly, because I'm sure it was terrible for you as a fan, but I cannot wait to hear your breakdown of the fish taco holders game. Okay. It's coming. Las Vegas 514, yo. Special teams play so important. It reared its ugly head yesterday for our team. The playoffs are slipping away. Sheesh. By the way, looking forward to you and young Kelly's top Thanksgiving sides. 2024 edition. No raisins in your potato salad. No raisins in the stuffing is what I'm really about. Stop polluting your stuffing with raisins. Just give me the stovetop. There's my list. All right, you ready? What's next?
I'm glad we got that tweet. I forgot to write that one down for this week. That's right. Top sides. Got to do that one at some point.
Sunday.
No, we're still Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Thursday, middle of the afternoon, 1:30 Pacific. Giants at Cowboys.
Forgot it was Thanksgiving for a second.
Yeah.
Thursday, 3 games. Friday, 1. Oh, love it. Giants against Tampa yesterday. Not much to say about this game other than Tampa just rolled them. It is Tommy DeVito and the Giants. Tampa Bay first drive, 14 plays, 70 yards. Sean Tucker in for 1, 7-0. Giants punt. Giants 3 and out. Third time Tampa Bay gets the ball, field goal, 10-0. Giants 3 and out. Tampa Bay 7 plays, 82 yards. Bucky Irving in from 6, 17-0. A little more than halfway through the second quarter. At this point in the game, the total yards was 209-19.
Is that good?
Giants punt. Tampa Bay 86 yards. Baker in from 10, and then he does his celebration in the end zone for all the Tommy DeVito lovers. Can you do it for us, Kelly? Can you do it? I'll do it for you. This is what he was doing, but he was doing it really fast, like this, the whole time. It was great. It's outstanding. It's the best part of the game. What's the score at that point? 23-0. They missed the extra point. That's the halftime score. Anyway, Giants then, they matriculate. First and goal at the 5. Tyrone Tracy hit by Levante David, fumbles. Elijah Cansey recovers. Tampa goes 95 yards. Rashad White in from 1. It was 30-0. Katie barred the door. I did get to 30-7 because the Giants did get one scoring drive to make it 30-7. And the only thing noteworthy after that was on a long Irving 56-yard gain, Baker's blocking downfield as well, which was awesome to see. Final score 30-7. Tampa rolls the Giants. They outgained the Giants 450 to 245. Who did you say they were playing, the Giants?
The Giants and the Cowboys.
I thought you said that.
Yeah.
Let me just talk about the first half for a second, because really the game was lost in the first half. Aubrey, 35-yard field goal blocked.
What?
3-0 Washington after a Seibert 41-yarder. Then Aubrey misses a 42-yard field goal try. Misses it wide right. Still 3-0. Seibert misses a 51-yarder. Still 3-0. Then Dowdle's hit by Johnny Newton, stripped by Bobby Wagner. Washington set up at the Dallas 47, 3 and out. A couple times later, Dallas punt blocked by Mathis. Washington set up at the Dallas 40. Third play, 1st and 10 at the Dallas 28. Jaden, really bad decision picked by Chauncey Golston, who's basically in the intended receiver's, lap. Dallas set up at midfield. They get a 3 and out. Dallas ends up taking over the next time with 45 seconds left at their own 14, 45 seconds left in the second quarter. Rush chucks it he just chucks it up in the air, and Jalen Brooks comes down with it 41 yards later. Aubrey 46-yard field goal. It's 3-3 at the halftime. 3-3. Washington should have had a big lead. That's where they lost the game. Okay, I'll get to the good part. Third quarter, Washington 60 yards, Jaden in from 17, and you're like, okay, they're going to roll them now. Seibert misses the extra point. 9-3 Washington. Dallas comes right back, 80 yards, rush to Jalen Tolbert from 6 out, 10-9. That would be the score. That would be the score at the end of the third quarter. Dallas 10, Washington 9.
What a snoozer.
That's game. Dallas would take a 13-9 lead, 8:11 left in the fourth quarter. And Washington, first play after that, Jaden to John Bates from 13, that he's hit by Donovan Wilson. Fumbles, recovered by Eric Kendricks. Dallas set up at the Washington 35, rushed to Schoonmaker from 22 out, 20-9 Dallas with 5:16 left. The DC Skids are down 2 scores. Oh, my God, it's happening again. Historical double-digit favorite against Dallas. They've lost some big ones in the past. This is only the 5th that we could come up with via the database. One of them in 1989 when Dallas went 1-15. You guessed it, that one was when they were a double-digit underdog to Washington. And in 1991, the greatest team of all time, Washington was 11-0, playing at home, double-digit favorite against Dallas. Dallas went into RFK and beat them that day.
But don't worry, Gill's moved on.
Yeah, and then there was yesterday, and I'm like, okay, it's happening again. 20-9 Dallas. Washington, though, 9 plays, 69 yards. Jaden to Ertz from 4 out, 20-15. Daniels moseys in on the 2-point conversion, 20-17 Dallas with 3:02 left. Then if it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. 20-17 Washington. It's now just a field goal game. They kick off. Kevontae Turpin misplays the kickoff. Then he picks it up. And he does, the Madden thing you do where you just spin for no reason? That's what he did to the house. You're not catching Turpin. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it.
It was the most early 2000s Madden thing I've ever seen, except for the drop to him muffing it, because you don't muff it in Madden. But, I accidentally hit spin move. I didn't really need to do that. And then my guy that's got 99 speed is somehow 8 times faster than everybody else on the field.
27-17 Dallas with 2:49 left, and surely it's over. Except it's not. Washington does the right thing. Give Dan Quinn credit. They're down 2 scores. They got the ball as soon as they get in field goal range, right? That's it. Let's kick the field goal. Yep. And they do. And Seibert nails it from 51. 27-20 Dallas. With 1:40 left, Washington does have 2 timeouts. They do declare the onside kick. That one fails. Dallas takes over at the Washington 49. But remember, again, 2 timeouts left. 3 and out for Dallas. So Washington does get the ball back, down 7. But they get it back at their own 14 with 33 seconds left, Kelly. So, it's over. Yeah. Except for Jaden Daniels hits Terry McLaurin, the incomparable one. Swerves through the defense. Touchdown. Oh, my God. Sorry, I apologize. It was just the most amazing thing you could possibly imagine, because Terry McLaurin is the most never stop. He's incredible. And it's 27-26 Dallas. Pandemonium. Except there's a little voice in the back of your head that said, didn't Seibert miss an extra point earlier in this game? Isn't he back from injury? And he misses. Wide left. Did you see where he put his plant foot?
Yeah.
It had no chance of.
Broadcast brought it up too, right? Then right before they got to the extra point, they're like, "Yeah, this is kind of big for everybody celebrating out there."
There was a little voice in all of our head. 27-26, 21 seconds left. The game's over, right? Not exactly. Onside kick declared. Wanye Thomas,
my hero,
not to be confused with Wanye Morris or Kanye West. He stupidly takes it to the house, 34-26, so there's 14 seconds left. But now Washington conceivably could still tie this. Eckler returns at 38 yards before he gets popped. Washington at their own 36, 9 seconds left. They get it to the 42 Hail Mary picked ball game. Finally, you have your final. Dallas 34, Washington 26. I hate you, Dallas. Dallas minus 5.5 against the Giants.
You're a little heavy. Cowboys 4 right now.
I hate you from the bottom of my heart. That's all I gotta say. Coming back, more Guessing Line.
And they're off.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN,
the Sports Betting Network. A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The VSiN Watch app makes it easy to watch or listen to VSiN anywhere, except for that last segment. Anytime on your phone or tablet, and for a limited time only, you can watch it for free. Visit the Apple app or Google Play Store now to download the VSiN Watch app and get 24/7 access to our live audio and video stream. Watch replays of your favorite VSiN shows. Easily stream video to your smart TV, browse clips by sport, or use the search feature to find the specific VSiN expert insights you're interested in. The VSiN Watch app, free to download for both Apple and Android users. We get tweets at Beat of the Book. Always appreciate the feedback. John Balduzzi. Real convo with my son playing Madden. Me. Why do you keep throwing bombs? Son. So I can score faster. Me. You should run the ball and matriculate it down the field. Son. What does matriculate mean? Me. I have no idea. Son looks at me. Hail Mary for touchdown. Meshuggah. Matriculate, by the way, because we get this every week, right? Somebody tweets in about this. I know I'm using it incorrectly. It is a tribute to Super Bowl IV and the NFL Films footage of Hank Stram, the then coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, who ended up winning that Super Bowl against the Minnesota Vikings, telling his players, just keep matriculating the ball down the field. So that's what it is.
It's incredible. It's incredible. The fact that you could just that's in sports, we've changed the definition or added to the definition of a word is just amazing.
Blue Hen Bill, as my Texans ticket went up in flames yesterday, I couldn't help but remember your guessing lines prediction on that very game with perceived value on Tennessee. Did you end up playing Tennessee? I did not, because I don't trust them. But yeah.
Yeah, it was no fun.
One of these weeks.
I would have had a nice weekend if those Texans could have done something.
Stringfellow Hawk. I grabbed the second half over 20.5 in the Commodes game. That was a hell of a half of football. Good for you. And he says, I've already hate bet the Giants in the game against the Cowboys. Gill's guys, sounding like Toddy during his Commanders recap. Great stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Director Isaiah Wrinkle saying the same thing.
Yeah. Todd Wishnev, who literally I want to call a medic in for every Megapod when he does he's always busting on one of my plays because he has a half game lead over me. And he goes, wait, I'm hearing what he's always predicting a loss of one of my bets that always involves a pylon at the end of the game. And he goes nuts doing it. That's good stuff. Beating the book, Megapod. Okay, we got tons of games to get to. By the way, the one last thing about the old Washington game. People were texting me about, they're like, is this going to be Hail Miriam Part 2? Hail Miriam Part 2, a tribute to my mom. Except for one thing. I never had a conversation with my mom about extra points. Like, she knew nothing about it. What do you mean there's another point?
Oh, so, there you go.
So we didn't cover that part. Yeah. All right. Still on Thursday, yes?
Still on Thursday. Thursday night, I was just trying to pull up my networks. Is this Amazon's, right?
This is I believe this is your Amazon stream.
I'm trying to get networks for everybody.
Or is that Friday?
Yeah, that's Friday because it's Black Friday.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
This is TBD. Kelly will figure it out. Dolphins at Packers.
I'm going to guess NFL Network, but I could be wrong. Dolphins at Packers. All right, Dolphins sneaky in the playoff picture still.
Yeah.
A game and a half behind the Broncos for the final spot in the AFC.
NBC, of course.
They're 5-6. We got that wrong. New England, second time they had the ball, Sly 45-yard try hits the right upright, no good, and that was basically their biggest moment, a glimmer of hope in the game, because then it was all Miami. 8 plays, 65 yards, Tua to Jonnu from 7 out, 7-0. New England 3 and out. Miami 9 plays, 66 yards, Tua to Achane from 9 out, 14-0. New England 3 and out. Miami 10 plays, 80 yards, Tua to Achane from 11, 21-0. Miami. New England 3 and out. Sanders field goal 24-0 at the half. Do you need to know anything else about this game? I don't think you do.
Maybe stop playing so much man defense, New England.
The only other part is New England 3rd and 3 at midfield. May sacked by Zach Sealer. Fumbles recovered by Jordan Brooks. That set up Miami at the New England 25. They actually got it to 31-0. Tua to Jalen Waddle. Final score 34-15 because New England, for those who had Miami in Survivor, I'm sure 31-0 was not comfortable enough because New England did get a touchdown. On a 4th and 15 at the Miami 38 when May just basically threw the ball up deep and Hooper caught it downfield to make it 31-7. And then there was a Jalen Wright fumble for Miami returned by Christian Gonzalez, 63 yards to the house, 2-point try good to make it 31-15 early fourth quarter, but they never got closer than that. 34-15. Miami wins it going away. 5-6 are the Dolphins. Glimmer of hope. Tua, 317 yards passing, by the way. should be pointed out. And then Green Bay taking on a Brock Purdy-less Niners team. And the Niners depth chart at quarterback is Brandon Allen in front of Josh Dobbs. Green Bay first drive, 67 yards. Love to Tucker Kraft from 11 out, 7-0. McManus would make it 10-0. Next time Green Bay had the ball after that, 71 yards. Jacobs in from 1, 17-0. The Packers were just rolling. And then the Niners showed some life. 65-yard drive, Allen to Kittle from 3 out, 17-7. LaFleur didn't use a timeout, oddly, on that drive. And then Green Bay had a deep ball that Dobbs just flat out dropped that he could have taken to the house. So 17-7. But then, so the second half begins. So it's not really a double dip, but a de facto double dip. Big Debo return, but it was nullified by penalty. And so that was kind of it. San Francisco, next time they had the ball after that, because that drive didn't do anything. 3rd and 8 at the Green Bay 45. Allen picked by Xavier McKinney through Debo's hands, returned at 48 yards. They were set up at the San Francisco 26. 3 plays later, a PI on Dobbs in the end zone. Jacobs in from 1, 24-7. At 24-10, San Francisco would have 1st and 5 at their own 15. Allen hit by Lucas Van Ness. He fumbled, recovered by Kenny Clark. That set up Green Bay at the San Francisco 15 to Kraft touchdown. At the 16 to Kraft for 15. 2 plays later, Jacobs in from 1, 31-10. The final was 38-10 after a CMC fumble later that was recovered by Carl Brooks that set up Green Bay. 38-10. They absolutely rolled the Niners. And someone was asking me, hey, the Niners can't be in your power rankings anymore. Not with Brock Purdy, they can't be. They're not even a consideration at that point. Green Bay. So it's Miami at Green Bay, which is a sneaky kind of good game on Thursday night. I'm going to say Green Bay minus 4.5.
Okay, so this opened on the other side. This opened 3.5 for most places, I believe. Dolphins been taking a lot of money. There are a lot of threes out there now. It is mainly juiced threes. We are 3 flat at South Point because they don't go more than minus 110, and there are 3.5s out there as well, 3.5 at DraftKings right now.
Wow. There are 3s still out there, you said?
Yeah, it's come down to 3. Dolphins have been getting bet here early.
This is still a Miami team going outdoors at night in Green Bay, right?
Yes. Yeah, correct.
I like the Packers. I really do. I like the Packers in this game. As meh as Jordan Love has been playing as compared to last year. Let's go to Friday's game. Squeeze it in.
Yeah, I might be with you on that one. I haven't bet it yet. Raiders at Chiefs. This is Friday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific time.
The 2-9 Raiders and the 10-1 Chiefs. Raiders lose to the Broncos. We'll get to the Broncos later. But the Broncos, I mean, all the credit in the world to Sean Payton and Bo Nix. I've said it for about a month now. That is as hard as I am on Sean Payton, and deservedly so, I think, both for off-the-field stuff and for being overrated on the field through the years. This is his finest job. And Bo Nix has improved so much in this, and the 29-19 win was just another display of that. 3-0 Denver. Dylan Laube, 59-yard kickoff return for the Raiders, led to Minshew to Abdullah, 6-yard touchdown pass, 7-3. They would just trade field goals the rest of the half. 13-9 Raiders into the second half. Then a 2nd and 14, Raiders first drive, second half. 2nd and 14 at their own 34. Minshew picked by Brandon Jones, returns at 37 yards, set up Denver at the Raiders 18. Second play, Nix to Sutton, touchdown. 16-13, Denver takes the lead with 10:49 left in the third quarter. They would trade field goals. 19-16 now, Denver. 70-yard drive for the Broncos. Nix to Sutton from 2 out, 26-16 with 5:30 left. And Denver does a great job of managing when they're up. Carlson will get a 22-yard field goal to make it 26-19. And then Vegas eventually would take over the ball, down touchdown, at their own 24 with 3:12 left. Drama, right? Nothing. Minshew immediately sacked, knocked out on the first play. Turns out he has a broken collarbone. He's out for the season. 2 plays later, Ritter strip sacked by Nick Bonito. Malcolm Roach recovers. Denver Lutz 33-yard field goal, 29-19 with 1:56 left. Las Vegas, remember what the spread is here, Kelly. 6 points, right? Mm-hmm. They're down 10, are the Raiders. They get it to first and goal at the doorstep. Not even the 1, the doorstep, like an inch away or 2 inches away with 20 seconds left. Ritter, incomplete. Then with 16 seconds left. What's the one thing you can't do here, Kelly?
Turn the ball over.
No, take a sack.
Take a sack, anything.
Clock runs out. Plinko. Broncos get the money. What are you doing? What are you doing? Coach him up. Coach the kid up, Antonio Pierce.
So bad.
That's your Raiders. By the way, and then the Chiefs, they could, give credit, as much as credit I want to give to Bo Nix, give credit to Bryce Young. Serviceable. 21 of 35 for 262. This was a game where the Chiefs led, 20-6, then 20-9. Carolina in the second half, they got it to 20-15. And then they wanted to go for 2, but they had a false start, so they had to kick the extra point. So it was 20-16. And then Mahomes bullet to Hopkins from 3 out, 27-16. Kansas City with 2:42 late third quarter. And then at 27-19, down one possession, right? A touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Carolina sort of fakes out. I don't mean fakes out literally, but they run a play with 2:01 left on a 4th and 3. They convert. Bryce to Thielen for 13, then a PI in the end zone. Next play, Chubb in from 1, 27-25. PI on a 2-point try from the 1, Hubbard in. We're tied at 27 with 1:46 left. And then Mahomes, 33-yard run. Schrader, 31-yard field goal. That's what it's set up. 30-27. Kansas City ekes by. This has got to be more than 10. I'll say 11.5.
We are out to 13 or 13.5, depending on where you shop.
Kansas City favored over the Raiders on Friday, on Black Friday. We'll get to Sunday next.
Got a good thing coming. Just wait and see. It's a good.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new VSiN Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to VSiN expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of VSiN's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back at Circa, here on A Numbers Game, Un Partido de Números. For those listening in Spanish, Gill Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. Majestic, beautiful downtown. We get tweets at Beating the Book. John Massey. John Madden game at Lambeau on NBC on Thursday night. At least you don't have to recap the Jets this week. Good point.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry Fresh is out here in the sports book. He says, I'm out in the book watching live, listening on my headphones because they don't have y'all on the main screen. Yeah, they always take us down.
Oh, there he is. There's Larry. He's waving. I was like, I bet you we could see him.
Brosek. We should do that. Every tweeter who's in it, we'll stop the show, we'll wave. Brosek, 1870. What franchise doesn't have the boundary cam? Sounds like a Bears move, but that's wrong. Maybe the Browns, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was the New York teams. He's just going through the league, figuring out who does have boundary cams. Spence, can we talk about how us Raider ticket holders were 2 inches from the backdoor cover? Oh, we just did. Also, my third leg of Green Bay -6 and Seattle +1. Oh, he lost a parlay on that. Torch D caught the Panthers live at 15-1 with about 2 minutes left in the game. Panthers score, convert the 2, but they leave. Patrick hit the cash-out button, Mahomes. 90 seconds to score. They don't call him that for nothing. I cashed out for 5 times my original bet. Good for you.
That
Smart.
is awesome.
But it brings to mind, before we get back to these games, it brings to mind a larger conversation, which is you look at your standings, and the Chiefs are 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, where do they rank right now?
Isn't this the opposite of the Lions conversation we had?
It is the opposite. They are exactly. It's Patrick Mahomes. I can put on my cape for 60 minutes in January, so don't worry about what you're watching now.
Yeah, this is rounders. This is grinding my way through the regular season. Get me to the main event, the playoffs, where I trust this team way more.
Because we fell for this last year.
I'm not doing it again, Gil.
Nope. Not doing it again.
I'll make some stupid bets against them in the regular season, but I'm not doing it in the playoffs.
Yeah. And they're never great at covering these big spreads during the regular season.
I mean, that's becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Not that I'm actively betting them, but I feel like every week someone's like, "Oh, Chiefs, they got to hammer the Panthers, right?" I'm like, I'm not laying that number.
What's next?
Sunday morning or afternoon, if you're on the East Coast, 1:00 Eastern, Chargers at Falcons.
Chargers play the Ravens tonight. I am on the Ravens big tonight at 2.5. Ravens -2.5 in the Har Bowl, if you will.
Ooh.
John over Jim tonight. Ravens over the Chargers. This was my favorite bet of the week when we did guessing lines last week.
You got a response out of me. I don't know how many times I've heard Gill Alexander say big in front of a bet on this show. I like it.
That's pretty big.
Let's roll with it.
Who's this? Chargers at Atlanta, you said?
Yep.
So Chargers sight unseen. Atlanta off a bye. The 7-3 currently Chargers, the 6-5 Falcons, and the Falcons better get it together because they got the Bucs right behind them with a really easy schedule knocking at the dough. I'm gonna say Atlanta. I'll split the difference between the Pick'em and the 3. I'll say Atlanta -1.5.
Fascinating. I feel like this has happened a lot this year, Gil. You and I kind of have seen things the same. Led to a bet here for me. We're on the other side. This is Chargers 1.5.
The market loves this Chargers.
Yes,
team.
they do.
Loves this Chargers team.
They do. There are pickups out there. I mean, this is shop around, but this was one I took a plus money line on the Falcons. I mean, at home with the Chargers. We haven't seen them yet tonight.
Needless to say, this will dramatically move it one way or the other.
Tonight. Yeah, it will. Not a big opening bet for me, but I kind of saw it the same way, and I'm like, you're going to give me plus money on the money line at home. I'll take at least a little bit of it on the opener. It's the exact same way I saw it.
I mean, I didn't even if I'm on the wrong side of this in terms of who I think is favored. It's not like I'm racing to bet the Falcons.
I hear you.
Next.
Steelers at the Bengals.
Steelers, extra rest. Again, losing to the Browns on Thursday night in the snow. They're 8-3 at Cincinnati. The 4-7 Bengals still harboring playoff hopes, because that's what you do with playoff hopes, Kelly. You harbor them. I'm going to say the same thing. By the way, Pittsburgh held Cleveland to 1 of 10 on third down, but 4 of 4 on fourth again on Thursday. I'll do the same thing. Cincinnati split the difference between a field goal and pick 'em Cincinnati by 1.5. I'm on the wrong side of this too.
No, you're fine. No, you're close. This is Bengals like 2.5. It's been this has been interesting early betting because it has hit. I think it's hit 3 a couple plays. I was just trying to scan that as you were going through stuff.
How about that?
It's hitting 3. It's hit 3, but every time it hits 3, it gets bet right back down. So it is 2.5 across, pretty much across the board. I'm looking at right now. Bengals, it's a juiced 2.5.
I would have guessed that I would have been more off on this game than I was on the previous one. Interesting. So the market really does like the Chargers and the Bengals both.
Yeah.
Typically, week to week. Next.
All right, Cardinals at Vikings.
Cardinals lose to the Seahawks in what was a big NFC West game, but was kind of a blah game.
Yeah.
3-0 Arizona. Seattle, Geno to Jackson Smith-Njigba, the big one. Mostly Yak for 46, sets up Geno to JSN from 3 out. 3 plays later, 7-3 Seattle. Late second quarter, that was the score at the half. Arizona, first time they got the ball, down 4. Now in the second half. 4th and 1 at the Seattle 40. Kyler goes right, and then he floats a pass, horrible pass on the run, trying to dump it short. He sails it, and Kobe Bryant picks it 69 yards to the hizzy. Myers misses the extra point, 13-3 Seattle. Seattle, next time they got the ball, first play, fourth quarter, 3rd and 6 of the Arizona 18. They're about to blow this open. Geno picked in the end zone by Garrett Williams. Arizona 80-yard drive. Kyler to Michael Wilson for 30. Great catch. But it only sets up a Ryland 22-yard field goal they had to settle. 13-6 Seattle. Now we're in the fourth quarter. Then Myers 50-yarder by Sex of the upright, 16-6. And then this is the difference, right, between the Dan Quinn thing we talked about, which is, hey, kick the field goal early because you're down 2 scores and you have a shot. Arizona's down 2 scores. They completely botched the time management, down 2 scores, and then just sort of serves them right. Ryland misses the 47-yard field goal try anyway. 16-6, Seattle wins it. It's like, dude, either get it in the end zone quick. If you and failing that shot in the end zone, just kick the field goal early. They did neither. McBride, by the way, 12 catches for 133 in defeat. We talked about Minnesota's win over Chicago, the 9-2 Vikings. Sam Darnold yesterday, 22 of 34 for 330. Addison, 8 for 162, DC zone, and a touchdown. Hawkinson, 7 for 114. Jones, 22 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. 452 total yards for the Vikings. I'll say Vikings by 4.
This is, you're dead on. Vikings 4.
9-2 Minnesota Vikings.
How are you feeling about them?
That's also an inflated record.
That's one you and I have gone back and forth with this team. 3.5's out there too. 3.5, 4.
Aaron Schatz, DVOA has them high. He has them as a top 5 team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're up there. PFF, I believe too. Man, this Cardinals team. This is where, like Matt Brown and I talked about. This was the scariest team to bet on or bet against. I want to love this Cardinals team, but man, they're tough, man. Sometimes they just lay an egg. Yesterday, that was a bad game.
Next.
All right, next up, Colts at Patriots.
I don't love any of these so far, except for, which one I like the best so far? I like that Green Bay's only 3 points against Miami. That's my favorite so far. What's next?
Colts at Patriots.
5-7 Colts, still harboring playoff hopes, despite their loss yesterday. At the 3-9 Patriots, not harboring much of anything.
Yeah, you threw me off that joke initially because I thought you were going to go with a Harbaughing or something.
Oh, no.
I'm already preparing for the horrible Harbaugh packages and jokes today.
Oh, I know. Indianapolis held to 268 total yards in their loss yesterday to the Lions and only 11 first downs. The Patriots held to 269 total yards against the Dolphins. Something's got to give. Colts by 3.
This is Colts 2.5.
Oh, not even getting the full 3.
There's South Point's got 3 up. A couple shops with 3, but
you know why? Because Chrissy likes my number better. That's why.
That's right. Chrissy likes your number better. It is mainly 2.5s though, juice to the Indy side.
All right, let's do another.
Okay,
we're racing through these all of a sudden.
Let's keep on cruising. Seahawks at Jets. This one's quick.
All right, the 6-5 Seahawks, who now are co-leaders of the NFC West with Arizona. They're both 6-5. And the Rams and the Niners are both 5-6. 6-5 Seahawks at the 3-8 Jets. You're right to the person who tweeted and said we don't have to recap the Jets. Thank goodness, because they were idle. Seattle minus. I know how much the market loves the Jets irrationally, so it's probably only Seattle minus 3.
Okay, this is Very interesting. We are Seattle 1.5 at DraftKings.
Oh, man.
Wow. Westgate has 2.5 up on this game, and Circa just opened Pick'em. So we are a little all over the place. Or Circa just went to Pick'em, I should say.
How about the reports that Aaron Rodgers wants to play, but just not with the Jets next year? How about that? This guy. Do we all finally do y'all finally get how ridiculous this guy is? Yeah, do we all get that yet?
I want to say,
because I remember last year when I was screaming at y'all about he can't come back from the Achilles. He's talking schmack, and all these hack doctors on Twitter were like, "Oh yeah, he's right. He can come back." No, everything he talks about is nonsense.
I want to say who'd make that gamble to bring him in, but I don't know. There's so many bad football teams.
You do not want this dude on your franchise. Plus, he's going to be 41. What are you doing? What do you think he can give you?
He's not giving anything right now.
Except for pure chaos. Stress. I can come up with other words, but the segment's ending. More guessing lines, looking for value. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard share their knowledge of sports, gambling, and pop culture on Follow the Money at a new